Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening.
We're just waiting for Maria. There's some connectivity
Yeah,
issue.
sure. Yeah. Am I audible and am I clear?
Yes, you're audible and we can see you clearly. Am I audible and can you see me clearly?
I can hear you, but you are a little pixelated.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you are. So welcome, Dr. Charan and Maria. How are you?
We're doing good.
So now we're starting. Again, good evening, everyone. I'm Amrita. I'm the communications head here at Advantage India. So as a part of our mental health awareness plan, we are introducing Symposium, which is a series of discussions. Today, we've got Dr. Charan and Maria Thompson here with us. We also had Nadira, but due to some health concerns, she isn't able to join us. So let's start with the introductions. We have Dr. Charan here with us. He's a neurophysicist from Hyderabad. His expertise falls on the anxiety disorders, sleep disturbances, sexual disorders, among other psychological difficulties. And we have Maria here. She's a 25-year-old product manager at Ford Motor Company. She started dancing and swimming at the age of 4, and she's associated with Dance for All, a California-based initiative, which provides classes to people with disabilities. So just a few icebreakers so that we can gather. Dr. Charan, how did you get into being a neurophysicist? Because I'm not very well aware of what it is.
I'm not aware too because I'm a neuropsychiatrist, not neurophysicist.
Oh, sorry. Apologies.
Yeah. So I'm a neuropsychiatrist.
Oh, all
How
right.
did I get in? Technically, by doing MBBS and then doing an MD. But what
Yes,
drove me
and what?
here is my passion, of course.
All right. So you were driven towards psychiatry and medicine since beginning, since you were a child.
Yeah.
All
Not a
right. And
child, maybe.
so yes.
Yeah, I think there's a lag in your video, Amrita. I think they're speaking at the same time.
I'm checking my internet connection. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Hi, guys. Can you hear
Yes,
me now?
Amrita. Yeah.
All right. I'm so
Yeah. We
sorry.
got it.
These things are very unpredictable at times.
Yeah.
In your introduction, you mentioned about stress management techniques and how you teach them in multinational companies. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Super specialty hospital in Hyderabad. It's called KIMS Hospitals. Tied up with many insurance companies through which I think a lot of super specialty hospitals are
Yes.
tied up where we give health education and awareness talks. So especially after pandemic started, I think stress, people are more conscious about something called stress. Before also they had stress, but they were managing in their own little ways. But I think now it's very obvious. Um, so talking about mental health, right? A lot of people don't know what they're going through. If somebody is having
Yes.
chest pain, they immediately would go to a chest doctor, a pulmonologist, or a cardiologist, right? So they get their ECG done, they get their 2D echo done. I'm sure, like in our families, that happened. In your families, probably it happened too. So we thought like we should do awareness programs where people know where to come to, what exactly they're going through, because either they go to another doctor or they.
That is really a dream come true for me. So first, they chose 500 people to attend the conference, and out of those 500 people, we
Yes.
had to send auditions for their international cultural night. So I just applied, thinking, okay, why not just give it a shot? And so I was actually one among 10 chosen to perform on that night. And it was honestly a dream come true. It felt really good. Yeah. And it was really nice to see so many different cultures
That's
perform their own artistic forms, and among that to do your thing also. Yeah, it was definitely something that.
that's great and very interesting. I think we should all shoot our shots, irrespective of whether we get selected or
Yeah,
not.
exactly. Yeah, I think I've
And
failed more times than I've actually gotten stuff. So yeah, I just keep trying. So yeah.
that's great. And can you tell us a little bit about Dance for All?
I lost you. What did you?
Can you tell me a little bit more about Dance for All? I hope I'm audible. Am I audible?
I think
Yeah,
it's
you are.
my connection. Are you asking about Dance for All Bodies?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I actually just recently got associated with them. It's a really cool, amazing non-profit. So I actually came to know about them, and they did an article on me very randomly. And I started following their posts, and I saw how they were trying to keep people around the world engaged with online dance classes, especially during the pandemic. Online classes became a lot more significant, and I realized that like there were people who were blind and deaf and on wheelchairs dancing, and it's just so heartwarming to see something like that happening. And I always feel I'm lucky compared to some other really inspiring people who had to go through a lot more physical challenges. And I was really happy when I saw that they were looking for more people to join their team. So I tried, and I got selected to be on their board of directors. So yeah, and I just started. I mean, I just believe that it's a really amazing team, and they have three amazing co-executive directors who are doing a tremendous job in keeping the non-profit active. Um, they're doing a lot of cool stuff, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
That's actually very great and unique. I haven't heard about initiatives like these very often. So now I'll be asking you guys questions, and Dr. Chan, you're very welcome to share your inputs. We have separate expert questions for you though, but you're more than welcome to share your opinion on these. So for the first question, it's um, how do daily challenges differ for a person with different abilities in like daily chores?
Okay. So that's a really hard question to give a generalized answer because there are so many different types of disabilities out there. So it wouldn't be right of me to be
Yes, I
speaking
agree.
with all of them. So I can definitely speak about my journey. And it's funny you asked too, because in last December for Disability Day, I did this series where each day I showed something that I do differently because of my disability. So in my case, I over the years found different ways to handle day-to-day things. Like, okay, before that, I'll just tell you a little bit about my disability. Palsy disorder. So
Sure,
my right arm
sure.
has has locomotor problems. So I can't stretch my arm or lift it properly, and even the senses are a little not as normal. So if I'm cooking and stuff, I should be careful. Like I burnt my hand without realizing that I burnt it. So yeah. So while dancing also, my movements are basically a bit restricted. So that is basically about my disability. So it's been like this from birth. So I've gotten accustomed to it. So I just found different ways to do things differently, whether it be like dressed up or tying my hair or yeah, driving, things like that. So it took me more practice, or whether like for tying my hair, I use something for support to actually put it up, or yeah. Then what? But getting dressed also, I try to use unique methods. So in my case, it hasn't obstructed me from doing something. So even swimming, I learned how to swim without using either of my arms. Actually, I can swim with just my legs. So yeah, yeah. So I guess it's about
That's
thinking, okay,
great.
what's a different way to approach this problem, probably. So yeah, that's what I try to tell myself.
It is so interesting that you're finding creative ways.
I guess necessity is the
And
mother of invention, right?
do you feel the government and society, us, are doing enough to help you?
So I feel there are a lot of cool initiatives from the government and society. Like there are a lot of great non-profits and NGOs, and even from the government side, there are laws for education, employment, and even tax benefits. But I'm not sure if all sections of the society are actually aware of it, and if they are actually accessing it. So maybe that's one area that we should explore. And also beyond these laws, I feel that there are still a lot of gaps. Like, are the blind and the deaf, do they have proper access to the information out there? Or people with locomotor disabilities, is our public transport actually catering to their needs? I feel there's a lot of gaps in these areas, and we as a society together, along with the government, should explore these gaps and try to identify solutions. Yeah, I feel that things, but yes, there are gaps.
So you think that somewhere it's the lack of awareness, that there are many good policies and initiatives, but the people who really am
I
I
think it's a
audible?
combination of both. We should see what other policies are needed. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Karan,
can
am
hear
I
you. Yes,
audible?
I can. Yes.
You, your voice is very low, is what I can.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna shout now, okay? I know I might look crazy, but I'm gonna shout, okay?
No, that's okay.
It's
So,
fine.
yeah, okay. So, there are a lot of cool laws. Yeah, there are a lot of nice laws, but there needs to be more awareness. Like, so I started my career 3 years ago, but I came to know only last year that there are tax benefits for differently able people. So, yeah, there needs to be more awareness, but I feel that there should be more efforts from the government too, because I feel there still is a lot of gap in the mobility services available to differently able people, and yeah, other things. So yes, both, combination of both.
And what do you think about this, sir?
I think there are a lot of policies on the book for sure. Even today morning, I was just checking what are the new schemes for disability. I came across a lot of names, but I don't know how many of them are put into existence. Mainly, like she mentioned, there's not awareness. I think it's not just awareness. I think there's a lot of ignorance as well from the government. Talking about the basic right of accessibility, right? What are we doing for the
Yes.
accessibility? Like, what is government doing? If you go to a hospital, if you go to a movie theater, if you go to any place, right? Where, how can somebody who is physically challenged, how can they access? So it becomes a very tedious task for the people. So if the people can't even get around to the places, I think in West at least we know most of the places are accessible for everybody, be it you're challenged or not. But in
Yes.
India, we have a long way to go because policies are implemented through investment. So I think the policymakers not just writing the policies, but they need to implement them. They need to invest the money into that, so construction can happen and there can be accessibility. So I think basic things need to be provided at least. We can talk about bigger things later. So I think basic things, because the one thing that is clearly thoroughly implemented is for the intellectual disability, they give a pension if you get a certificate. The pension is very nominal. It's 750 rupees to 1,500 a month. In 2021, tell me if 750 rupees to 1,500 is enough to run, your entire chores. Somebody who's probably not educated and doesn't have any job on their own, it's not possible. It's impossible. I mean, so yeah, that's my opinion. I think there's a lot of gap in between the policy making and investment and accessibility. So these three need to be bridged to have probably smoother. You can't provide disabled people the best life. At least provide a normal life, like that. The basic right of constitution to right to live. Even in the pandemic, right? It's difficult for somebody like me who can walk and who can run to go and get my groceries and everything, right? For somebody who is disabled, like what is government doing? Are they other than NGOs and some youngsters like you coming ahead, is government doing something? I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, but please educate me if I'm wrong.
No, I definitely agree with you. Also, we do not know the ground reality. There are many things that are there on paper, but we don't know when they're being implemented or happening. So I definitely agree with you on that. Do you feel
I'll
if you
tell you
feel
one simple
sorry?
example.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. I'll have to tell a simple example. I don't know I think the ground reality they're not implemented because when I was doing my post graduation in Mangalore, Manipal, my professor, I don't want to give the name, but my professor has a physical disability. He's one of the top doctors of Karnataka. My university is very good. I came from a very celebrated college, but there was no ramp in all of our wards for him to come up. So a lot of the rounds not able to do with the patients, so patients had to be brought down. So sometimes there's a lot of accessibility issues. So if you're talking about an educated popular doctor who is disabled and can't get around in the hospital, in his own hospital, to see patients, so the ground reality, I don't think so it's very good. It's not very bright. Yeah.
Yes, I fully agree with you. And do you feel that you're treated differently when you go in public or in general, even with your relatives? Oh,
Okay, so again, coming back to my particular disability, so when you first see me, you can't really realize that I'm disabled. You need to either spend a lot of time with me or be like observing me really well to know that I have a disability. But I feel in general, while interacting with differently able people, the main thing is uh, no one size fits all. Like even if the way that you're addressing them, some people prefer differently able, some people prefer physically disabled, and both have very valid point of views on why they prefer that way. So I feel ask them, just politely ask what they prefer, and don't make assumptions. Like many people may have faced physical disabilities from a long period, or even in my case from birth. So they may have found ways to do those daily tasks. So rather than going ahead and directly helping, maybe ask them, do they actually need help? And uh, I feel just that open conversation and with not making assumptions would make a huge change and can improve the way that you interact with the differently abled kids or physically disabled, whatever you prefer.
yeah. All right. Apart from that, what other advice would you give to someone when it comes to interacting with someone with a certain disability, be it physical or mental?
Okay, so I feel the main core essence is that nobody or at least I feel so, nobody would want to be treated with sympathy. So rather try to spread inclusivity, even if it's like simple things. Say you're at work and your team is going out on a Friday night outing. So maybe just call in advance and check if that place is actually accessible to everybody, so that nobody is left excluded because everybody has the right to feel happy and enjoy life, right? So those small things can actually go a long way. You can actually put a smile on somebody's face for a night. So, and also, uh, don't, again, like I said, be kind to one another. You never know what the other person might be facing. I don't look disabled, but I also had certain challenges in life. So don't just judge somebody just by looking at them. And this is not just for physical disability. Generally, just be kind and spread positivity, and because you don't know what the other person is going through when they behave a certain way. So yeah, empathy, in my opinion, would be the number one thing.
And I think a major concern is that at times people just are scared that they may come across as being offensive, even though they have good intentions at heart. But maybe
Yes, exactly.
there is this, yeah, that am I saying something correct? I hope I didn't offend the other person.
Yeah, open communication can really help rather than assuming things. Like openly communicating about what the other person prefers and what they feel can actually go a long way.
What do you think, sir?
I think she wonderfully put it. I think when you talk about the name itself, right? Disability, differently able is definitely better, because when you're trying to provide opportunities for people who have difficult, life as such because of this, calling them disabled itself, you are labeling that you're not able to do this. Going just by English, I could be talking medically, intellectual disability, but in English, she is disabled or he is disabled. That itself is you calling someone a loser, right? I mean, you're not able to do this. You can't do this kind of thing. So differently abled or something like that will definitely help. When you talk about intellectual disability, there was a name called mental retardation, which was dropped recently, because even in English, very offensive, we usually say like, don't act like a retard. Are you a retard? It hurts a lot. It hurts me being not intellectually disabled, because I see a lot of patients. I work with a lot of patients very closely. So I think first, how you address people should definitely stop, because labeling is something that we need to stop. Not even for somebody who is disabled or not. Generally, we tend to label, oh, that kind of girl or this kind of guy, or, the labeling needs to stop. And second thing is definitely, I think asking, open communication is very important. Don't hold their hand and drag them across the street. Maybe they don't need, they know to cross the street. Ask them, do you want any help, sir? Do you want any help, ma'am? Just ask them. They will tell you. I was actually watching somebody speak on TEDx, some time back. She was telling that she's wheelchair bound. Whenever she enters the room, people get up to give her respect, which is okay. But they get up and they talk, and it gets very difficult for her to see their face. So that she said that in many years, I can't interact with people eye to eye. I always was looking at their, at their legs. So I don't know who is talking to me. So understanding what is the practical ability of the person, and maybe bend a little bit, sit on the equal eye level and have conversation. If they prefer a little bit of, touch, give a handshake, just asking. And, that really helps. I think a lot of us, we jump to assumptions and we think that, like right in front of the patient also, like when patient walks into my room, my nurse, one day she said, "Ayo," something like that she said. I said, like, don't give sympathy. No one needs sympathy. Be empathetic. Ask them, like, open the door, like you wouldn't do for other patients, because they can open on their own. Open the door and ask where are the comfortable sitting. Something like that. I think inclusivity, nobody wants to feel special all the time. It's very difficult to get attention all the time in the life. People don't like attention all the time. So let them be, leave them alone. If they ask if they need help, and do it if they want. If they don't want help, mind your own business. I think it's very simple. Because when you're dealing with somebody who is differently able, it's not about you, it's about them. So we tend to make it about us.
Yeah, and
does it make
at
sense
times,
what I said?
when you try
This is
to,
my observation that I see.
completely agree. Yes, people do
Yeah.
not
Me too.
accept
Yes.
pity. it's even as any person you talk about, people don't like to be pitied.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yes, do you agree with me?
Yeah,
I mean, I would
definitely.
hate if somebody shows pity on me. I'll give one on
Exactly.
the face. So I'll give you one
uh,
example. I'll actually give you one example. To know that what kind of challenges somebody faces, right? uh, Maria has put forth all the challenges and I told some simple thing about how you make a person feel on a day-to-day basis without you knowing that you are they're getting hurt. So I have this patient who lost both the limbs unfortunately in an accident, and she's wheelchair bound. She was a boss lady. She still is a boss lady. She was doing a lot of work. She was running a small scale business. So now she's not able to do all of that. So she's taking treatment and etc. So people thought that she would never get married for obvious
Uh,
reasons, right? People thought like, oh, she
yeah,
lost him,
I've
so she
also
can't get
been told
married.
nobody's gonna marry at
Marry
29.
you, right? Yeah. So, but this guy fell in love with her, and he married her. She's very happy that he accepted her the way she is and everything. But she's saying every day people make him feel like he's a wonderful person for sacrificing his life to be with a girl who is disabled. It's a very simple thing. I mean, he's not doing it. People around are always saying like, you got a good husband, just keep him happy. So she says that my own parents, my own friends, nobody think I'm worthy. People think he's an angel sent from heaven to marry me and make my life. So she's extremely distressed in her life, where people are constantly reminding her of her physical challenge. So I think simple things like that. We all say, right?
Yeah,
Even
the simple things
acid
are
attack.
fine apply.
Yeah, yeah. Acid attack survivors. If somebody marries, we're like, oh, he's such a great guy. He didn't see the physical beauty. He went ahead and married her. Okay, yeah. Say it once. It's fine. Then don't keep making him, angel of her life, right? I mean, she's completely capable of taking care of herself. Yeah. So simple things like that. How you treat someone.
Yeah,
yes, I
awareness, I guess,
totally
is a
agree.
main thing. We should spread. Yeah, even in children, we should teach this. So, like, I actually was just thinking, like, so while growing up, so there's the stigma in India that being a lefty is bad. Even in toddlers, we teach children to be a righty if you see them use their left hand. So I don't know if it, yeah. So, and because my right arm is differently able, I'm predominantly a lefty. So while growing up, people were always like, "Why are you eating with your left hand? Why are you writing with your left hand?" And when I was a kid, it actually used to affect me. I used to think, "Am I weird? Is there something wrong with me?" Then I realized, okay, it doesn't matter. Then yeah, so yeah, spreading
I think these
awareness and how
notions that we
people.
make ourselves, I'm sorry,
Nothing. Yeah,
Arya.
go ahead.
These notions that we make ourselves
No,
aren't
I wasn't. No.
really great. So, I remember as a kid, so there we same thing happened. So I knew someone who was a lefty, and one day someone else pointed out, "You're lefty, it's not a good thing." And then she named like so many people who are lefty, like Barack Obama, Amitabh Bachchan, and she's like, "They're doing great. Even I'm doing great. There's nothing wrong." And that guy had nothing to say, which and even I was like, "Wow." And we should make people learn that you should stand up for yourself, and if someone makes presumptions or says something negative, you need to correct them.
Very true. Very well said.
And is there any incident which affected you significantly, be it good, bad, or both, which you would like to share with us or audience to put things into perspective?
Okay. So, I guess that might sound funny now. So there is this one idea in my life, uh, from when I was a teenager that really is a it's like an out of the box idea that is always special to me. So actually, like I was telling you, growing up, I had trouble getting dressed by myself and all. So actually, when I first became a teenager, I couldn't put on a bra by myself because with most people put on a bra by putting the hook from the back, right? And because my arm can't reach my back, I couldn't do. And when my mother or my sister was in there, I used to find it very difficult to find somebody. And at times, I have even been ridiculed that I couldn't get dressed on my own and stuff. And that really hurt me a lot. And then I was like, okay, I really want to do this on my own. And then I actually got the idea to first put on the hook and then to slip it over my head. So I don't know if I'm conveying it properly. So that way I won't have to reach my back. So that actually showed me that anything is possible if you just think differently. And that is something that 13-year-old girl still tells myself whenever I'm stuck on a difficult problem at work or whatever. I just think, okay, wait, maybe I'm looking at this the different way. Maybe there's some really simple solution if you just look at this in a different way. So yeah, that is one incident that I'll remember.
That's actually really unique.
Yeah. Unique is special, right?
Oh, sorry.
We lost you for a minute.
Do you feel?
Yeah.
Okay. I was
Can
wondering
you
if
hear me
I
now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you feel that a disability and society's approach to it can affect a person's mental health?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
101%.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even need to have a disability. Like, society approach does matter to all of us. We constantly need validation from the society. Starts from your own family, your spouse, your parents, your siblings, extends towards your extended family, and just the strangers that we pass by. We all need validation. So definitely it affects one's mental health. We all amplify negativity in terms of, if let's just say now there's a chat going on, people can post whatever they want. Let's just say some 10 people said the talk is very good and one person said this is a horrible talk, why are you wasting your time and my time? We three, I'm sure, will go back to bed thinking about only that one comment. We're not going to think about the other 10 comments. So in that way, negativity gets amplified. We always think about that particular thing. So it does play a huge role. But I think, how do you get out of it? How do you feel better? I think by inclusivity, like she said. I think inclusivity is very important, because as a kid, what do you try to do? You try to do things to belong to a group, correct? Be it accepted by your friends in the school, like cool kids or whatever. When you grow up, you want to date. Like you want to date eligible singles, uh, same gender, opposite gender, whatever. Then later, you want to be included into family gatherings. You want to have everything that anyone else has. So if that inclusivity is not there, it takes a huge toll on mental health. So depression and anxiety goes without saying. Another one thing that is very important is, especially in intellectual disability, sexual abuse is extremely common in children. So one has to be very aware of sexual abuse, any warning signs. So at least teach them go, no go areas. I know it's difficult considering intellectually they're challenged, but keep checking on them, and supervising has to be there. And a lot of these kids are used as drug peddlers. Even if they get caught, it's fine because nobody's going to trust them anyways. It happens in a particular socioeconomic strata. I'm not saying in all. Even in higher socioeconomic strata, you can have a group of friends and you want a drug to be delivered to someone else. Easiest target is somebody who has lower IQ. You can get away with it, so you give it to them. So these kind of lot of issues can happen. Even after marriage, domestic violence, abuse is highly seen in physically able, disabled people. For sure, it does affect mental health.
Maria,
I guess
what
as
do you
society
think?
we could. No, I think he summarized it quite well. And yeah, so how society reacts is definitely a huge, does play a huge role in one's mental health, and also how we see disability as a whole too. Like, I'm really happy that recently certain ads and even movies have been trying to normalize and trying to empathize with differently able better. Like, one of my favorites is Tare Zameen Par, and there's this really nice Tamil movie also, Devathi Magal. I guess you probably don't know. It's about a mentally challenged father and a daughter. That's also a beautiful movie which portrays and tries to get their perspective also, so that we actually see that diversity is beautiful, and yeah, we get to see that that's when the world is a better place, when there are uniqueness in people. Yeah, we as a people should definitely try to get there. Yeah.
Definitely. And what advice you would give to others for maintaining a good mental health?
Okay, maybe he would be better than me, but I mean, okay, so I'll be honest, I have my days of anxiety, I have mood swings, all of that. I mean, we're humans, right? We can't always be perfect, but so what I would say is we should stop the stigma around mental health. When you feel like it, go talk to your loved ones about what you feel, and if needed, go seek professional health. Professional help. Sorry, I mean it. That the stigma around it should definitely be removed. And what I personally try to do is, if I am feeling down for a few days, then I give a break when my body or my mind needs it. I try to take rest, and then but I don't give up. Like after those few days of rest, I get back to my full swing with energy and get back to all my the things that I'm part of. But and another thing that I try to do is, I know that in today's world everybody's busy with studies or work or whatever it be, but leave some time for doing things which you actually love to do, and don't forget your passions. So for me, it's dancing. It could be something else for you guys. So make sure to try to spend some time about yourself and your own personal growth, and don't get sucked into the daily chaos of your studies and your work. So that helps me, and that's been keeping me sane during this pandemic. So that is what I do. But Charan, go ahead now. Go give some professional advice. Yeah.
See, about mental health, I think it's not about doing some great things. It's just doing your basics right. If you do your basics right, I think your mental health is more or less, is going to be in place. Unless it's a genetic condition, then obviously, you don't have too much control. But definitely, I think first thing is exercise, sleep, hydrate well, eating nutritious food, manage your stress. I think if you do, and definitely, no to drugs. If you do these 6 things, I think you shouldn't be having most of the mental health conditions. Exercise, I'm repeating again. Exercise, sleep, nutrition, hydration, 4 to 5 liters of water per day. Stress management, what is the other thing? What did I say? And no to drugs. I think these 6 things, if you do right, if you don't, you won't have most of the mental health conditions. So unfortunately, we don't do these 6 things right. Most of us don't do these 6 things right. And again, if I had to add a 7th thing, that definitely self-care, like she mentioned about giving time to self and following your passion. Most of the patients who come to me, when I immediately ask them about these 6 or 7 things, if they're doing right. No one is doing it right. How much water do you drink? 2 glasses, 3 glasses. What kind of food do you eat? Junk, lot of junk. Do you exercise? I do soul work. So that is only my exercise. Do you do drugs? Yeah, whenever I'm stressed, I smoke. How do you manage your stress? I already told you I smoke. So in that way, people are not getting the basics right. I think if you get your basics right, I think you're good to go.
Also,
do you
agree with me on this?
Things. I'm guilty of not.
At times we shouldn't let people's opinion tell us or affect us. Like, how do I not let whatever someone says, not get to my mind?
It's not about sometimes. It's most of the times we shouldn't let what people think about us seriously. But definitely, sometimes we listen, does this person make sense? Changing this part of me, will it benefit me and maybe a little bit of people around me? So it needs a little bit of introspection, and where you are understanding that, okay, maybe I should, example, like people generally, like some people tell me that, I'm a little upright and honest, and that might hurt some people. I wouldn't know, because I think I'm very honest, but some might think I'm very blunt. In personal life, right? Of course, in professional life, I have a shield of being a doctor, so I behave in a particular way. So most of the time, I think like it doesn't matter, I'm fine. But sometimes when multiple people tell me, I tend to listen to myself and see that, is this something that I need to change? Is this going to benefit me from my own personality? I think it's just the introspection, nothing else. It should go same for anybody who is disabled also. How much of it, for example, dark skin is considered as a disability, is what this girl tells me. She says that I am constantly made to feel disabled because I said, I may know what is the disability. Can I help you? She said, my skin tone. Sometimes disability is not textbook definition. It's also how people make you feel. Somebody who is not very smart with studies, who are average or below average, they are made to feel disabled. So I think all of that, it all boils down to one: how you treat other people. If you treat other people right, be it disabled or not, I think you're good to go. You'll be in a good society.
All right. And what are your thoughts on discrimination towards differently abled people? Have you ever faced it?
Okay, so okay. So one major incident in my life, I also believe that in life, it's often the struggles and the things that you overcome that you're later gonna remember and be proud of. So right now, looking back into my life, there is one incident that it definitely has helped me become. It's special to me now. So when I was in school, I standard. So I didn't get selected for a school annual dance, and it was a semi-classical routine, so it needed a lot of graceful arm movements and stuff. So my teacher actually told me to my face that I looked awkward while I was dancing, and I actually went home to my mother and I cried a lot, and I felt really sad that I didn't get selected. And my mother actually told me that that's when I first started saying differently able. So she told me that I'm differently able and not physically disabled, and that I should just follow my heart. Even though it was not so easy, actually, for a couple of years, I didn't have guts to dance in front of people. I didn't take part. I didn't even try out for any other school dance after that. But when I went to college, it was a completely different environment, new people and everybody. And IET is very open-minded in that sense also. So I joined our college dance team also later on, and I was also actively in our hostel dance competitions and stuff too. And then I realized that, okay, maybe, that's when I started gaining my self-confidence again in dancing, and I started to dance from my heart without ever being bothered again about what that teacher said many years ago, even though it did affect me for a certain amount of time. That's when I kind of got closure about it, and I finally got over it. And now I just love dancing. I don't care if I look awkward on one side or not. I mean, it makes me happy, and I love doing it. So yeah, that's why even now, and I hope that others can also see that you should just follow your heart. Just go ahead with, if you're not hurting anybody else, then don't worry about what people say. Just follow your passion and your heart and go ahead. So yeah, that is one time when I was discriminated. I mean, it is a prominent time when I was discriminated, which had a deep impact. But yeah, now it's all right. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question though. Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Maria. I mean, you didn't have to go through that.
Thank you, Jan.
I think at times we all just need a little push in the right direction, and then that self-confidence comes in naturally.
Yeah,
all right. So now we have. Sorry.
So no, I was thinking that if somebody is challenged, right, in any way, physically or intellectually, whatever way, I don't think so. They need to excel in something to, to be celebrated. I often see, this is my personal observation, that somebody let's just say Maria, she's very good at dance and she's gone to an international competition, and she's put herself out there, so she's celebrated. I think for other people, you don't need to have the pressure of being excellent in something to prove something that you are equal to someone else. You don't need to. No one is equal. Everybody is different and unique in your own way. So don't think that only if I master a particular art or task that I'm gonna get society's validation and approval. No, you can be okay. You can be average. It doesn't matter.
And can you just add something? I know in your intro you said professional dance. I'm not a professional dancer. I just dance by passion. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. I mean, I'm like far from a professional dancer. So yeah, like Charan said, but that shouldn't stop you. You don't have to be professional. Just put yourself out there. If you're having fun, just go there. Yeah, that's exactly what Charan was trying to say, and even what I wanted to say. I'm not a professional dancer, but I just dance for fun.
Yeah, because when I'm watching, yeah, Maria, when I'm watching the dance shows or whatever on television, right? When they get a physically disabled person coming and performing, people are all applause and everything. They say that you conquered your disability and that and this. What they don't understand is, it's good that you are being celebrated, but other people who are watching, other people who probably can't do their best in probably anything, they shouldn't feel like they're already made to feel like they're not good enough, and that kind of applaud to someone saying that you conquered. Other people shouldn't be at their confidence shouldn't go down because of that. So I tell all my patients that even if you're not disabled, only one person is going to excel, only one person is going to top the class. The rest of the people are not gonna. So it's not just about your disability. It's about the person that you are. If you're average, it's okay. Be average. What's the big deal? But definitely, that shouldn't stop you from striving for excellence. You can try to be excellent, but that's only for you to feel good, not for society's validation.
Have fun and follow your heart. At the end of the day, that should be what matters.
Yeah, someone beautifully said, everyone is unique like your fingerprints. Yeah, you're right.
Yes, I also read that. Thank you so much. And now we have a few questions for Dr. Charan and Maria. You can also give in your inputs. And sir, do you feel that legally people with intellectual disability should be included in people with disabilities and should be aided by the government?
I think more than giving an aid for them, I think they don't want to be just sitting in the house and getting some financial aid from you and just passing from month to month. They would like to be celebrated. They would like to be acknowledged, providing equal opportunities. As simple thing as if you are, I know it's a very big example, but if you're doing a movie about disabled people, right? Why don't you actually audition for people with disabilities and cast them as the main lead and provide actually, I don't know, because that particular person will do a lot for the entire community. It's not just that they'll take that, whatever 5 lakhs and go and, fill their bank. Why do you want to cast a celebrity and use a lot of props and processes and make them look disabled? Why don't you actually see other people who are trained in acting who are disabled and actually cast them? So provide equal opportunities. That's all. You don't need to give them any special aid. Equal opportunities and inclusivity is what I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think will definitely help. That's what I'm sure everybody would want to be treated with respect and dignity.
Yes, even I agree with you totally. And is it not easy to accept themselves or their condition? How do you feel as a therapist, what advice you should give to people with acceptance issues?
Okay, so I'm not a therapist. I wouldn't know, but as a doctor, what I would tell is acceptance should come from within. Then it comes from the society. Did you accept your own, disability? Did you accept, your capability and your ability, and then look for validation in the society? Because even if you fixed your leg and even if you did something, you still might be in the same place. People might not be accept you for other things. So I think it's shifting your perspective about, what are you here for? What is your purpose? Your purpose could be just keeping yourself happy, keeping your family happy, or keeping your kids happy. And also, I think don't have that self pity. Like, don't think that I can't do this or I can't do that. Like Maria said, we are humans. The wonderful us is we can adapt. We adapt. That's why we made it so far in the pandemic. So you can beautifully adapt. You can always find logical solutions. If you can't, click on YouTube and see. I'm sure there are many people who have similar experiences and who are navigating from day to day. So I think more than therapy and all of that, I think self-acceptance and finding out solutions. This is a problem. What is the solution? You should always think logically. I think that is important. And don't ever think that, you're not capable of having a marriage or children or whatever.
Yeah,
you can,
matchmaking into your head.
Yeah. I mean, if nobody wants to marry you, it's their loss, not yours. So don't pin everything on your disability. Don't think like, because of this particular thing, I'm like this, I'm not accepted. Don't hate your disability. Love it, own it, because it's part of you. I know it's difficult. It's easy for me being completely healthy and saying these kind of things, but it's very difficult for somebody who's going through. I can never imagine what it is. I'm only sharing what's my observation as a professional, but just own it, own your disability, because it's part of you.
I totally agree.
Yes, I definitely agree.
Solve whatever challenge you're facing, halfway. So yeah, that's definitely very well said.
Also, now we have the last question. What better educational reforms can be there which will help people pursuing psychology and have proper knowledge regarding the treatment of people who are differently able, be it mental or physical?
Education opportunities for the people who are disabled, or to help people with disability?
So that to help people with disabilities.
I think occupational therapists will help a lot. They help in vocational training. It is where you train the person. Maria figured out on herself, but a lot of people with even more difficult disabilities, maybe they can't figure out on their own. So I think being a vocational, more than psychologist, being you being an occupational therapist will definitely help. You will be able to help the challenges. So I don't know what are the courses offered, to be honest, but definitely occupational therapist and rehabilitation therapist and all this will definitely help. Yes, for the mental health issues, acceptance and all of that, yes, psychologist will definitely help. But definitely, you'll have to start with seeing a doctor, because it can be fixed. You have to do your best, and if it's not, then we'll think about the other ways. So
yes, I totally agree. And with this, we come to an end for this wonderful session. Thank you so much, Dr. Charan and Maria, to take out time for us in this discussion.
Thank you.
Both of you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Nice meeting both of you too. Keep continuing to the good work.
Yes, it was great.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Stay safe and take care.
So
bye.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye.